What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm gonna tell you why we missed Wednesday's show. You're not gonna believe it. The floor is yours, Casino.
Yeah, my power went out. NV Energy power went out. At first, they've been doing a lot of construction. They're putting in more wiring and all the things. It's supposed to last through October. And it's like in a 2-mile radius of my house. And so I thought they did that. I thought they hit that. But no, it was a car accident. A car hit a transformer in a car accident. Bloody scene. It was just crazy. I'm just kidding. It was a great gif I sent BJ of a transformer of Optimus Prime on the ground. It was great. But no,
Yeah.
I was driving to work and I saw which transformer it was. And yeah, they hit it. Oh boy, did they hit it. There was like 4 NV Energies and a cop car down the street next to it. And there was half of it was gone.
That's
I don't know
crazy.
how I have no idea how they got it up and running back in 2 hours, because when I drove by, it was like half gone. Like
That's crazy.
a car went into a transformer. I thought they were just saying that to cover their ass because they're like, oh yeah, the car hit something. Yeah, we didn't mean to snip the line, but no, it really was a car hit one of those boxes, and car was already gone, but it was absolutely destroyed.
Well, it's one of those things where I'm about to go on a cruise for a week, so we're trying to record all these episodes that won't be live, but they'll still be released at the normal time we have the live shows, so we don't miss a day. So we were recording that on Tuesday because Casino couldn't record on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden we were, I think, like 3 or 4 minutes into the actual episode, and then Casino just disappeared. And then he called me and was just like, yeah, they hit, like, my power's out. And then especially during the Vegas summer, like,
Oh, my house went up 6 degrees in the 2.5 hours the power was out.
that's crazy.
I made sure every window was like, all the blinds were shut, curtains, like everything. I was like, nope, don't open doors, kids. We're bunkering down here. Don't open the fridge because we can't let any of that air out. We don't know when this is going to be fixed. But
Yeah, it's brutal, dude, especially during the summer. I remember when my first son was like just born, like me
I
and
did too.
my ex had just
I
moved
was
into like,
there.
yeah, I mean, you were there.
I was there. I
But
was at the hospital.
me and my ex had moved into this apartment. He was
We
like
really are
6
friends,
months old.
guys. We really are friends.
And what is it? He was 6 months old, which is crazy that was that long ago. He's 14 now. So that's insane. But we were living in this apartment and our air conditioning went out in the middle of summer, like July, start of August, basically like right now. And so we told the front desk, like, oh, hey, our air conditioning's out. And they were just like, oh yeah, we'll like have somebody to fix it in like 2-3 days. And I was just like, no, we have a baby. Like our apartment's already at 89 degrees and the air conditioning's been off for an hour and a half. Like, what do you think it's going to be in 3 days? And so coincidentally, they sent somebody later that day, which funny how the second you start involving babies and cops and illegal, all of a sudden it gets fixed immediately. That's weird.
But
But
having your AC go out is one thing, because you could always get the portable ones, which work very well, by the way. But when your power goes out and you got nothing, I had to go to work, and I was just telling the wife, I was like, hey, like, pack the kids, the dogs, go to my parents if you have to. Like,
yeah,
you can't stay here.
also, it's that part of the summer, especially in Vegas, where at night I'll get off work at like midnight, 1 a.m., and it'll still be 100 degrees
Yeah.
outside.
I've
And
gotten
you're
in the
just
pool
like,
at night, and it's great. My pool is still at 90.
ugh.
And I don't heat my pool. It's just heated by the sun. And I'm like, sweet. All right, kids are asleep. It's 12:30, 1 a.m. I'm just gonna go hop in the pool.
Ugh.
Great.
But Casino, we are here today to finally finish what was supposed to be finished on Wednesday, but obviously Transformers and Decepticons and all that kind of stuff. But we are here today to talk about the Texans and the Titans. So, which of these teams would you like to talk about first?
Let's go Titans, because Texans, we're gonna have a ball. Just a ball.
And also, I just realized while I was reading,
not just a ball, but we're gonna have a middle school dance. We'll get to that.
I just realized nobody will notice this, and I could have just changed it without anybody noticing. I put, will the Titans be a dark horse this yeet? So I'm
Oh,
changing
I
that.
just read this year. I didn't even. My mind literally just was like, "Oh, dark horse. This Y. There's Y means year."
But
I love those,
year.
by the way. Whenever people like post memes or whatever, and you read it, and it's all normal, and then at the end, it's like you didn't read that right, and then you go back and you're like,
Oh,
"What
that
the
is true.
hell?"
It
Like
just
it
tricks
messes
your
with my
brain.
brain. It's so great. It's so great. So I read yeet as year.
Yeah, but now it's changed to year, so there we go.
Yeet.
But
Skirt.
when it comes to the
Sorry,
Tennessee
I'm so
Titans
white.
casino, whoop. Oh, I just went. I was like, why
The
does that up, up,
Titans.
up? It's because I
Because that's
put
what I still have up on my browser history from when we tried to do it the other day.
Titans,
Titans,
Titans.
the Titans. Oh, the Titans. I mean, that's what I have on my browser history, not the Titans.
A lot of different things pop up when you type that in.
When you type in
But
Titans.
let me So when it
Ah.
comes to the Tennessee Titans casino, last year they were 3-14, finished dead last in the AFC South. They were 21st in total defense, allowing 345.1 yards per game, 28th in scoring defense, allowing 28.1 points per game. Also, whoop, this is what I should have done right here. Whoop. So, like I said, 3-14 last season, fourth in the AFC South. And then when it comes to their offense, oh, if I can just find it.
It's going great.
Oh, I put 2. That's what it was. I put 2 in defense. Oh, see, this is already messed up. Hold on.
Great.
Live show. Please hold. Whoop.
I'm holding Hunt for dear life. while we're holding, I got my kids all situated out there. They got fed. They're having a good time. I put on Rio for them. Gosh, I love that movie. I love that movie. And they were just like,
it's a very good movie.
Rio? Like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's singing and dancing birds, kids. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. Which is funny because they've seen it before because I love the movie and I've watched it. And they've been coming in and out of their rooms and they're like, oh, this is cool. Sure. And they're like, no, I'm watching it by myself.
That was me and my son watched what is it, Into the Spider-Verse, because for some reason
amazing
he'd never seen the first one and only seen the second one. So we watched the first one and I was like, this movie is fantastic, because I saw the newest Spider-Man.
So many awards.
Well, yeah, but I saw the newest Spider-Man and I was like, is this the best Spider-Man movie ever made? And it wasn't. I legitimately think it's that one right there.
Yeah, they're both so good. I love them both.
Okay, that was enough vamping. So you know what? Live show. I can edit all this out.
No,
if you're watching, well, no, I'm saying in the clips. In the clips, if you don't get our hot Rio talk, which is why you got to watch live. Okay, let's try this again. Like in how they do in Spider-Verse, where they go, let's do this one more time. So casino, when it comes to the Tennessee Titans, they were 3-14 last season, fourth in the AFC South. Defensively, they were 21st in total defense with 345 yards per game allowed, 28th in scoring defense with 28.1 points allowed, and in total offense, they were 31st in the league in total offense, only making 259.6 yards per game and only scoring 16.7 points per game, making them 30th in scoring offense. Now, obviously, that will be different this year because they hired Robert Saleh, former Jets coach, in
with that high energy defense culture that he has. I'm excited for this. I think he's going to do well. You and I, we liked the Titans last year. We like Cam Ward. We think that he can do well, but he needs the right pieces in there. And I think getting Robert Saleh in there and giving him a chance on offense to try to actually win a game, right?
Yeah,
and not just get blown out. So I'm excited for that hire.
Well, also, he's obviously the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Then he went to the Jets. Then he went back to the Niners last year, where he I wouldn't even say he was bad last year. Just he was dealing with so many injuries.
Which also makes him just a wizard.
Yeah. So I think defensively, if we look at these numbers from last year, 21st in total defense, 28th in scoring defense, like we said, how could those numbers not be better? Even if they got no more players, they got a significant improvement when it comes to the defensive coordinator.
Right. And then also, I mean, bringing in over with the offensive coordinator, I mean, Brian Daboll, they brought him in. And I think that's going to help a lot. Just somebody that can actually get Cam Ward moving and get him throwing the ball correctly in the passing game. I'm excited for this team. I still think they're going to have a hard time doing much in that division, just because this is a big rebuild. They did bring in a lot of they had a lot of draft picks, and they brought in some new guys. I mean, they were 3-14 last year. I can see them being better than that. I can see them being better than 3-14. I don't know if they reach the 7 mark. They might double and get 6. That's kind of where I'm kind of putting them. But it's progression, right? It's just going to keep progressing. You have a lot of young players bringing in with a second-year quarterback, who's a quarterback that needs a little bit more development. Even though I'm saying, we like him, and bringing in Robert Saleh is going to help him, and blah blah blah. Dayball, he's still not a great quarterback. That's to be seen, right? So he's got a lot of movement to do. But I'm excited for this team. I'm excited for this team because I want to see the progression. And getting Carnell Tate, he was selected 4th overall in this last draft out of Ohio State. I think he's going to be a huge, massive target for Cam Ward, and that's going to be good. It's going to go very well with him.
Yeah, they have this year going in. They have the 8th easiest strength of schedule based on last year's teams. And then you look at their schedule on paper and you just go, week 1, they have the Jets. That should be easy win. Next week, they go to, or they stay home, but they play my Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think that'll be a good, that'll be easy. It's like you look at their schedule. It really is. They play a winnable game, then a team where I think they get murdered, then a winnable game, then a team where they get murdered. They go Jets, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Houston, Colts, Browns, Bengals. That is a tough 8-week stretch right there.
I mean, it is, but we'll see how they fare on that. Most betting sites have the Titans right around that 6.5 or 7 win mark, so it's kind of right on par with what I'm thinking. But yeah, that is a tough stretch to start the season. I mean, you compete during those, you got to feel good about, the second half of your season. As long as you go in and you compete, you can show that you've changed, you've developed, you've gotten a little bit better with the new structure coming in with the coaches offensively and defensively. All you want to see at this point, if you're a Titans fan, is you want to see the progression of the team, right? Because they're not going to come out, they're not going to win the division. I still probably have them 4th in this division. Not probably, I have them still 4th in this division, but making strides and being competitive. They had flashes of it last year where they can be competitive, but I'm excited to see more stability and more progression and a little bit faster progression, especially for a quarterback that you and I both like, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Well, and then obviously this starts at the top. So my question to you, Casino, is Robert Saleh a good head coach?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough for that to say, right? But he's going to do fine because he needs to fix that defense, right? He needs to fix that defense, and then Dayball just handling the offense. I think that's a good 1-2 punch for them. That yes, Saleh will be the head coach, but he's going to kind of do what Belichick did, right, back in the day, where he's focusing on defense, and then he let Tom Brady, he let McDaniels just run that offense and do his thing, and he really didn't pay attention to that, right? He didn't really pay attention to that. He just let that be. I can see the same kind of situation here where he's just going to work very hard on getting that defense and then letting his quarterback develop under Dayball and just let that work itself out over there. because obviously it's tough to be a head coach. It's tough to be a head coach in college, wherever you're at. It can be high school head coach, and it's still tough because all eyes are on you. If it doesn't work out, it's on you, right? It's always going to be on you. You're the head coach. They're always the ones that get fired first before players get changed and this and that. So I don't know if he's the best head coach, but he is a really good defensive coordinator, and him going in there just focusing on defense, which I'm sure he's probably going to do. I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where when you look at his schedules as a head or his record as a head coach, when he went into the Jets, he was 4-13. Next 2 years, he went 7-10, 7-10, and then he was 2-3 before he was fired. 7-10, 6-11's kind of what we're looking at when it comes to the Titans this year. So I feel like that same trajectory. Obviously, the only difference is he couldn't figure out the offense with the Jets. He didn't have a good offensive coordinator. I mean, we talk so much about
the Jets, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we talk so much
that organization is not good from top to bottom.
And we talk so much about Brian Daboll, what he did with Josh Allen, all this kind of stuff, developing young quarterbacks. So I do think what makes me so interested in this Titans team this year is looking at how almost kind of like that Buddy Ryan Chicago Bears kind of, obviously this is the Temu version of it, but the Mike Ditka, Buddy Ryan aspect of it, where you just go, hey, we're bringing in a head coach that's technically going to be our defensive coordinator, and then we're bringing in our offensive coordinator who's technically going to be our head coach of the offense. And we're just going to say, this guy's the head of the organization, but they kind of stand shoulder to shoulder. You handle that side of the ball, I'll handle this side of the ball, and we'll see what happens. Now, obviously, the best version of that was Ditka, Buddy Ryan, where it was two distinct. This is the offense, this is the defense.
Also,
can this be a poor man's version of that?
It also worked very well in Remember the Titans.
Very true. Very true. And look what happened to Ryan Gosling. Now he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world. So clearly, but I do think, again, I just have so many question marks with this offense because defensively, I feel like you can figure it out, right? You just get a good scheme in there. You get a good defensive coordinator. You get a couple pieces. Obviously, they have Jeffrey Simmons, Amari Hooker. They have a couple guys on their defense where you go, if he was on my team, if your team traded for those guys, you would be like, yes, we upgraded, right? Yep. So I don't know if you can say the same thing offensively. No, I don't
I'm
know
worried how about that backfield. I'm worried. I mean, Calvin Ridley,
Pollard guy.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley, great, right? Tate, bringing in Tate is going to be good because I mean he's a good receiver. That's going to be fine. You've got some power there with the passing game. Your backfield, horrid. You and I have already been way off of the Pollard train a long time ago. I don't know if we were ever on it. We may have been at the station, but we were never on it. No. And that backfield, dude, is not good. It's not good. I don't know what they're going to do there. I thought they would have done something to fix that in the offseason. They did not. I'm worried. I'm very worried about that backfield because if you're going to be a one-trick pony offense, right? Daboll, you got a lot on your plate here. You have a lot on your plate here. You're going to have to figure out not only how to get your quarterback going, but you're going to have to get your quarterback going without having that security of being like, oh, I can dump the ball off to this player or I can hand the ball off, if I'm reading the line differently, defensive line. And this is not, it's not going to be good. And I love how, so I pulled up on a couple sites, and a couple of the sites say that the reliable veteran of Tony Pollard. And I'm just like, what are you talking about?
He was basically 13th in every running back category last year. He's had 4 years in a row of rushing over 1,000 yards. And I still just I just think he's like the definition of average starting running back.
And that's supposed to be your bell cow. Running back.
That's supposed to be the guy that like takes the pressure off Cam Ward when you want to see development in his second year as a starter. And I just go, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah. And that's to me, that's going to be one of the biggest reasons why they're going to finish right around the 6th win mark. 6, maybe 7. I'm not going to do the whole thing. 6, maybe 7 win mark.
Yeah, and again, their strength of schedule, they have the 8th easiest, but then you look at their schedule and you just go, I don't think I can find 6 or 7 wins. Like, I'm just looking at it and just going,
I love how you and I are trying so hard not to say it.
I know. But yeah, I just look at it and I just go, if somebody was like, "Oh, this team is definitely going to win 8 games," I would bet my life
No.
against it. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see 8 wins. Even if
I
you go,
I could see the possibility of 6. I would still bet the under of this, even if it's sitting at 6.5 is where I've seen most of it, and I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna put them at 6, maybe 5, maybe 6 wins. If they have a
yeah,
real good, if the development happens, they might get 7, but again, that's fine. It's a new team. They still got a lot of pieces they gotta fill in the off seasons, and, they did make moves. They made a lot of moves. And they pulled in some players. They made a lot of moves in coaching. They made a lot of moves in personnel, players on the field. That there is going to be movement, but they have got a lot more work to do over the next couple years to be back to where the Titans were back when Vrabel was there, right?
yeah, which
When
was, I
Vrabel
mean,
took,
they were almost, you could be like AFC or AFC championship or what it, like they were fringe AFC championship, could potentially go to the Super Bowl teams.
yeah,
They were in the AFC championship a couple
for
of
like
years, weren't
3
they?
years or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. When it was prime Derrick Henry and all that kind
Dude,
of
and
stuff.
I still am remembering that game against the I believe it was the Ravens, right? Where Henry goes off and he had like crazy stiff arm. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, also
beast.
the Titans were, what is it, Brady and Belichick's last playoff loss together. Like they got knocked out of the playoffs by that not Robert Saleh, by that Vrabel team.
Mhm.
So, but I don't know. Honestly, for me, the Titans, if they look bad or
Stupid.
disorganized or like not a good team against the Jets, then I would go under 1,000%. If they don't look good in that week 1 game against arguably a bottom 5 team, I don't think I can pick out 6 more wins after that. Like
Yeah.
if they struggle against that Jets team, I think it's a wrap. I think it's just we'll see next year, because after that, again, they're going to be underdogs in pretty much every game except what, maybe the Raiders in week 16, maybe.
I
Like
don't know.
that's it.
I have the Raiders being a pretty decent team this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what game
I mean, the
besides
Raiders are
week
most
1 they would
likely
be
still going to
favored
be
in.
last in their division, but they're going to be scrappier than most.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, so when it comes to the Titans, I think I've seen already some people saying they're going to be the dark horse team, their surprise
I
team.
would
I just
love
don't
for
see it.
that.
I would too. I
I
just
would
don't
love
see
for
it.
that because I've never had anything against the Titans. I've always actually kind of liked the Titans growing up. I like
Mhm.
the colors. I like the logo. It's fun.
I do.
Um, Vrabel went there and coached, obviously, so that was fun for me because I was a big Vrabel fan when he was back on the Patriots. And yeah, I've always kind of had a soft spot for the Titans. I like Cam Ward. I would like to see him progress a little bit. I
Yeah,
want to see this team do well. Plus, I just don't care for most of the other teams in that division.
that's true.
So,
Also,
let's go.
Casino and I, this is going to be the first year since you've done the podcast where we're in a fantasy football league this year together
Yo,
against each other.
when does
Uh,
that start?
we still have to decide when the draft is,
Mhm.
but Carnell Tate might be one of those late round wide receivers where you just go, I'll take a flyer on him. Why not?
Mm.
He's be. I mean,
I,
I don't think they're going to have him be wide receiver 2. I think on the depth chart right now, he's wide receiver 1 over Calvin Ridley. So,
sure.
uh, I'll take it. I might take a shot. Might take a late round shot. Who knows? But also Tennessee Titans. It's fun to say you're the only 10 I see. So that's why you got to love Tennessee.
It's also fun to say Titans.
Titans. It is. And again, like you said, those colors are nice. That red and powder blue, it just works. That's a good color combination. So Tennessee Titans, a team I think you and I are both rooting for this year, but have no faith in. No faith in. I think honestly, 7-10 would be a huge overachievement from a 3-win team last year. So
Oh yeah.
there we go. Now, Casino, let's move over to my most anticipated team to talk about, and that is in the same division, rounding out the AFC South. That is the Houston Texans. They went 12-5 last season, which was second in the AFC South, only behind the Jacksonville Jaguars, who won that division. But how the Texans got in second place, were a fringe Super Bowl contender going into the playoffs, was because of their defense. They were first in total defense, only allowing 277.2 yards per game. Second in scoring defense, only allowing 17.4 points per game. However, the other side of the ball, the offense was where all the issues started. They were
finished, and
18th in total offense, 327 yards per game, 13th in scoring offense, 23.8. And obviously, the number one thing we have to talk about, Casino, I'm gonna hype it up and then play the video.
Bring him in.
It is this video of what is it? CJ Stroud walking into the facility of the Texans, walking into training camp. Again, the most aura lost ever by a quarterback in one clip. I've never seen something like this. Can you ever remember a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, where Joe Burrow came into camp with like the Eminem haircut and everybody was like, whoa, this is cool. This is,
and he looked good in that. That hair worked with that outfit and he was crushing it.
And now we get
I mean, he's Mr. Cool, he's Mr. Smooth.
So we get this video. I can't. It
no,
pains.
Dude, I love it.
This was also a guy where much like he hyped up CJ Stroud so much. This is a NFL starting quarterback walking into camp.
The walk. It's not even what he's wearing. It is a lot of what he's wearing, but the walk.
There's just no
looks like he's trying to hold in a fart.
And then so obviously everybody was like,
looks like he's about to go get schooled on the middle school basketball court with those shorts.
Everybody said, what song should play over this? And this song perfectly encapsulated how everyone reacted to this video. What? Also, this is tied to, so the video is obviously awful.
So bad.
But this is tied into just this monumental fall off of what we thought CJ Stroud was going to be. Because again, when he came in his rookie season, everybody was like, this is the guy. Like, this is the new, what is it? The new young quarterback, face of the league, all this kind of stuff. That was only 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he had a rookie season where he threw for 4,100 yards, 64% completion percentage, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That was in 2023. So technically going into his third year or his fourth year this year. But 3 years ago, he was this rookie sensation where it was like, oh my God, CJ Stroud is going to be, the next great quarterback in this league. And since then, he has thrown for 3,727 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Last year, he missed 3 games, but he only threw for 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And then when you watch him play games, you're like, the aura's
Mm-hmm.
gone. He looks uncomfortable in the offense. He looks unsure of himself. He just lost his confidence.
Patriots broke him in the postseason. Broke him. Absolutely broke him. Watch him. Like that walk coming in, dude. That is a scared little boy. That is a scared baby little boy. And he's having nightmares. He's seeing ghosts, just like Sam Darnold was. But somehow Sam Darnold was able to shake those and win the Super Bowl. But this poor little scared boy, he got knocked silly, throwing all those interceptions to my team in the postseason, man. Poor baby little boy.
So let's talk about.
No, but for real, all jokes aside, That was not a good way to end the rest of your season. And then, you know, you've got to shake that off and come into the next season, come into training camp hyped up, feeling good about yourself, have a little swagger, show like, yeah, I got worked in that game. It wasn't my best game, but I am still good. I'm going to come in, I'm going to work. We got a great defense. I'm going to be an offensive powerhouse. And then you come in like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like the last thing people remember of you was getting absolutely annihilated by a team that made the Super Bowl that everybody was like, oh, they're not that good. And you have that kind of performance, and then you show up to training camp looking like you're going to middle school math class. That is not
also
good,
not
dude.
only that you're going to middle school
is
math class, that you look scared of it.
Yes.
Like you look scared that you didn't study
and
for the
like
test.
and you're so scared that you haven't taken a shit in 2 days. Like that's not a good look for him, to have that performance. That's the last thing people remember of him. And then you come into this season, you're like, okay, yeah, my quarterback, CJ Stroud, he's going to shake that off. He's going to come in, and then you're a Texans fan and you watch him walk in like that. I'd be like, I'm done with this season. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. We're the new Browns. We're going to have a good defense, but we got a shitty offense.
Yeah. So
that's what he's holding in his cheeks right now is a Brown.
Well, the narrative,
I got a lot of shit jokes right now.
The narrative that gets lost from last year is going into that playoff, the start of those playoffs. The Texans were everybody's pick to just
they were on a roll
to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like, we had them. We had them going. There was 2 teams that I was scared for the Patriots to play last year. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were just Trevor Lawrence was not turning over the ball and he was on fire. And then the Texans, because of that defense. And yes, their offense wasn't great, but it was getting it done. Yeah. And they were getting it done when they needed to. So I was terrified to play the Texans. Everybody was terrified to play the Texans because that defense was clicking and the offense was doing enough.
I really feel like the end of last year, it was like Jaguars, Broncos, Texans, where everybody's like, one of these 3 teams, or a combination of 2 of these 3 teams, are going to be the AFC Championship game. Like, no doubt. And then obviously the Broncos, Bo Nix got hurt. The Texans and the Jaguars just fell flat on their face. We forget in the wild card round, they destroyed these Steelers in that game. They won 30-6. That game wasn't close 5 minutes into the game.
And being a Patriot fan, like I truly thought that the Bills and the Patriots had a chance, right? They had a chance. The Bills just had to get out of their own way. The Patriots had to get, some luck and some path in their way. But Jaguars, I thought, was the team to go to the Super Bowl. The Texans, I thought, as long as they can keep some offense rolling, that defense was going to get them to the Super Bowl. And then with Bo Nix, that everything was working with Sean Payton and the Broncos at that point. It was kind of wide open that if they could string together a team that can definitely go at least to the Super Bowl, I don't think anybody was going to beat a Seahawks or a Rams team that came out of the AFC. It wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I was 100% sold that this team was going to be good. And then they lay that stinker against New England. And then I just can't, man. I just can't with how he showed up. It is such a bad look. It is such a bad look, right? I mean, you have some players that show up to practice that are dressed humble and dressed.
But see, it's not even how he's dressed.
They're not super
how
flat.
How he walks in.
It's how I really do think he was holding in a fart or a shit, and he was like, "I gotta get to the restroom." Also, sorry, that was my best CJ Stroud impression.
Honestly, I'm not even putting this on CJ Stroud. I'm putting this on the Houston Texans organization.
The
How do you release that video on your social media?
The media.
How do you look at that video and go, this is our QB1. This makes him look good?
This looks nice. So God,
that's insane. Don't put out a video.
I wonder. I'm sure they put in place a thing where it goes, "Hey guys, before every game, before every practice, send us what you're wearing. Send us a selfie. Send us a selfie so we can just adjust." Or they just hire like professional people to make them not look shitty. And like before you get in the vehicle, we're gonna check your fit, and then you can get in the vehicle. You gotta
Yeah.
pass the vibe check, the fit check before you get in this vehicle.
So last year, obviously, with this defense, they were the sixth best third down defense in the league. They were ninth in the league in sacks, third in the league in interceptions. They were second in the league in turnover differential,
That was
only
huge.
behind the Chicago Bears. And that mostly came down to the last six. If we remember last season, this Texans team got kind of embarrassed against the Broncos, where they lost an 18-15, just like defensive battle. It was the game going into that where everybody was like, who has the best defense in the league? It's either the Broncos or the Texans.
I remember talking about that.
Yeah. Broncos ended up coming out on top. After that game, from November till they got embarrassed against your Patriots, they went on a 6-game regular season win streak, won the first playoff game in all of these games in dominating fashion. And then they go against the Patriots, and the second best turnover differential in the team, CJ Stroud in that game, 42% completion percentage when his season average was in the 60s. His game against the Steelers was 66%. So against your Patriots, 42%, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, sacked 3 times, had a quarterback rating in that game of 22.2.
Yeah.
That is Justin Herbert levels of playoff destruction.
And that's what I'm saying, dude. You lay up that stink, like you guys they were such on a roll, and you go in there and you lay that stinker, dude, and those numbers are so bad. I just can't fathom. And everybody's like, oh, well, the weather was bad, this and that. Okay, but you know what? Figure it out. You're professional football players. You play in bad weather. Like it is what it is. Just figure it out. And don't blame it on that. CJ Stroud just wasn't ready for the moment.
Well,
I mean, do we have footage of him walking into that game? Because was he dressed like that? Was that his just boom, boom, boom,
well, I rewatched the highlights of that game. The interceptions he threw were awful, like back-breaking, like straight to Patriots defenders. Those weren't like
1,000%.
Yeah, these weren't unlucky bounces. These were bad throws.
Also, he was getting pressured. And here's the thing: if you're going to get pressure like that, dude, throw it away, go down, take the sack instead of throwing the interception.
Yeah, he was trying to play hero ball.
He was trying to play hero ball, and you don't do that in that weather. You just don't do that in that weather. You protect the football, and he just did not care. He was just tossing it up there, man. He was tossing it up there. And I mean, again, I'm joking and having a good time about my Patriots kicking his ass, this and that. But that really, I can really see messing up a star football player who's supposed to be the face of a team, and you go out and you get embarrassed in a playoff game like that. I mean, I would probably be messed up about that.
Yeah,
I would be like, okay, well, you know, I'm a joke. Like, I'm the laughing stock. And even if you have fans that were like, oh, it was a bad game, this and that, how do you have that mentality of not thinking, you know, every Texas fan hates me right now, I'm a joke to them, I think he's going to be in his own way. I am kind of worried for this team. I mean, they had 12 wins last year. We know that we brought down the Jaguars win total down a little bit, right? And we're thinking they're probably going to be right around 12. And I still think they're going to win the division. And I'll probably put the Texans only right around 10 wins. 10, maybe 11 wins, because I just can't trust this offense, especially with seeing how he's coming into training camp. I've got to see him actually show some spark and some fight and resilience to how he finished off last season.
So they have the 7th easiest schedule going into this year.
They do.
But this is how they start the season. This is the first month of the season. They go against Buffalo, against the Bengals, at Indianapolis, against the Cowboys. So
I can see they do 1-3.
That's what I'm saying. There is a legitimate shot. They could be
0-4.
Those teams. There's a chance they could be 0-4 going into week 5, where they'll then play the Titans we just talked about and probably annihilate them.
Yeah,
but
so like
there is a real possibility.
The Colts is the only one that I really think that they can pull off, because I mean, we'll get to the Cowboys eventually. I think the Cowboys really worked on their defense. I love Dak, what he's doing right now. I mean, Dak has moved really far up in my mind. That's not going to be an easy game. I think the Cowboys actually have a legitimate team this year. Like we'll get to them. but I do think they have a legitimate team, and I don't think that's going to be good for this Texans team early on, man. I just don't. This team
Yeah.
could really start 0-4. I still have them around the 10-win mark, but I can see them being 0-4.
And you know what? Who the Texans have offensively, we talked about Tony Pollard when we talked about the Titans. David Montgomery coming over. I don't know. He's always been a complimentary back to me. He's always been the 2 in a 1-2 punch. Him being the main guy, I don't know about that. Nico Collins is a good wide receiver. I don't know if he's a great wide receiver 1. I think he is a decent wide receiver 1. And then also you have guys like Tank Dell, who we've seen have good games in the past. I like Dalton Schultz, but again, Texans offensive personnel is guys where you just go, oh, I like them. I don't love them. Like they're good. They're not great. So then when you go, well, the issues last season were we had trouble scoring points and our offense kind of sputtered in a lot of games. You bring in David Montgomery, that's kind of it. And you just go, all right, we're just running it back. I don't know how successful that's going to be.
Well, again, a lot of it has to do with CJ Stroud, right? A lot has to do starting with him.
Yeah.
So that's you could bring in as many players as you want, right? But if you don't have the right quarterback, or the quarterback doesn't believe in himself, which in my thought, I don't think he does. I don't think he does. Because even when they were winning all those games, he was struggling still to put up points most of the time, right? I don't think he has faith in himself, and that shows to all the fans of his, and then the people who aren't really fans of the Texans, like myself and yourself, because we don't care for Texas teams. We just don't.
Very true.
Very true. And yeah, I'm worried that he just doesn't have the confidence anymore. He doesn't have that year 1 confidence that he had. Remember, he was just out there. He was like, I'm the guy. I'm going to take care of business. That's not him right now.
Well, also they had arguably a bottom 3 to 5 offensive line last year. This year they added 3 new starters. They used their first round draft pick on a new offensive lineman. So you go, maybe we look back at last year as the anomaly because of how bad their offensive line was, and maybe they figured that out and maybe it's better. But
and that's a very good thing, because I mean, Joey B, we're talking about the Bengals, right? He's amazing, but he needs a better offensive line. But he's a better quarterback than CJ Stroud, and he proves that because he can still get shit done without an offensive line.
That's true.
And I mean, just coordinating like with my Patriots, right? With Drake May, he was good, and we saw that in year 1. Everybody saw that in year 1, and we're like, okay, let's try to get some more offensive line power for him. And it still wasn't great last year. That was not more apparent than in the Super Bowl. He just absolutely got destroyed. But it really, really helps players who need to develop more or need that time, because there aren't great quarterbacks like Joey B, who need a little extra time to get it done. Bringing in a good, strong offensive line will help a lot. Look at the progression from Caleb Williams, right? From year 1 to year 2. Just the same with Drake May, year 1 to year 2. Both of those, the Bears and the Patriots, try to put more into that offensive line, and they did again this year. Both teams did, because they're like, we've seen the progression from our young quarterbacks going from year 1 to year 2. Let's get them. I know CJ Stroud's been in the league a little bit longer, but still the same concept applies, right? That you get a stronger offensive line for the players, the quarterbacks who need a little bit more time, the ones that aren't the Burrows, the ones that aren't the Bradys, the Mannings, or whatever, who can figure it out and not have an offensive line, yet still get the ball out of their hands in less than a second. So, keep working on the offensive line, and we shall see.
Well, also, we didn't bring up with the Titans, who are projected to have the worst offensive line this year. So, again, these two teams just being
with
struggling.
that bad backfield.
Yeah, exactly. The Titans,
but,
I might.
But does Robert, not Robert Saleh,
Brian Daboll.
Daboll, is he able to fix a little bit of that and at least position the pieces a little bit better, keep them a little bit more stable in their spots? I don't know. We'll see. But again, that's why I still have them, the Titans, 4th in that division. And I want to see them do a little bit better, and I can see them being around that 5-6 win mark, 7 if they're lucky.
So now that this is we're finishing the AFC South right now, we still both kind of see it playing out exactly how it did last year with Jaguars first, Texans second, Colts third, Tennessee Titans fourth, because I think I'm kind of higher on the Colts than I am the Texans going into this season. I feel like I might have Colts second.
I want to say that I want to put Colts second. I really, really want to put Colts second, but I don't know how Daniel Jones is going to do coming back from that kind of an injury, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That is my biggest question mark. I believe in him. And like I said this in the first episode that we did, I believe in Daniel Jones as a player, as a person being in with that new organization. I was high on him before the year started last year. You called me crazy. Everybody was like, he's not going to do great. But he came out and he absolutely crushed it. While he was there, he was on pace to have the highest scoring offense in the entire league in NFL history. And he goes out, and yet they still finish in the top 10 and everything because he put up such high numbers early on. So we got to see what he can do coming back from that injury. And we'll find that out in the first game or two, right? If he's still got that whip, if he's still got that movement.
Honestly, you might see it in the preseason.
We might see it in the preseason.
Get him some reps in the preseason
because he's coming back from a really bad injury.
Good point.
But anyway, I still think I have the Texans just because of that defense, and it's unknown for Daniel Jones on how he's going to do. But
all I know is a quarterback who looks like he lost all his confidence being behind an offensive line that's going to get him maybe killed by 2 months into the season.
Great.
I just don't like the implication that guy who folds under pressure is behind offensive line that is arguably a top 3 worst offensive line in giving up pressure.
No, and that's totally valid. And Daniel Jones, even coming back from the injury, he still seems to be ready to go at training camp, and he seems ready to be back, and he's excited, and you see some of the passes he makes. I'm excited for him.
Well, and the Colts are going to have a top 5 offensive line, so yes, Daniel Jones is going to be like, oh, I'm confident I'm going to have time to stand in the pocket. I'm not going to have all these bodies around me.
Or at least time to throw it away if I need to, so I don't take a massive hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So any last thoughts on the Texans, the Titans, or the AFC South as a whole, Casino?
Nope. I think I'm good.
I think we did it. I think we
nailed it.
AFC South, when you look at it on paper, much more interesting than I think you would think, because you go, the Jags look to be one of those teams where you go, based on last year, if the Jags aren't in the AFC Championship, in the AFC divisional round, you go, oh, it's a wasted season. But for the other 3 teams, Titans, they double their win total. They're a 6 or 7 win team. I think you go, that's a huge success. And then Texans, Colts, you go, these could be some of the best teams in the league or teams that just fell off, and you were just like, oh yeah, I could see either scenario happening.
Yep.
Like Daniel Jones doesn't come back. Colts didn't win a game last year. Texans, CJ Stroud doesn't have his confidence. We saw what happened to this Texans team against your Patriots, where it was like he has a couple fumbles here or there, an interception or 2, and all of a sudden they're getting blown out.
Yeah, it really is. Apply a bit of pressure on him, and then he's gonna make bad decisions.
Yeah, it really is a boomer bust division. Like, I could see 3 teams from this division arguably being in contention for, wild card playoff spots, or you could just see one team running away with it because a certain 1 or 2 things went wrong for a certain team, and they're just done. They're done by
your take of having the Colts over the Texans isn't outrageous. It is not, just because of the confidence level of the offense going in for the Texans. It's gone.
And there we go.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about on this episode?
How about my Boston Red Sox being 31-5? The second sweep. They not only swept the Dodgers, they swept the White Sox, teams that are leading. They're like, dude, I have no idea what the hell is going on with my Red Sox. They're probably going to make the playoffs and lose in the first round, but that is what it is. But 31-5 since late June.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But again, do you think they're good enough to compete with the Dodgers? Because
They
that's
just
what you have
swept
to
them.
ask.
Yeah, the Dodgers are on a losing skid. The Dodgers have lost a lot in a row, and then the
Well,
Red Sox
and that new
winning.
pitcher coming over that they signed, that was a big deal, and then he just got absolutely mollywopped in his first game.
By
That
the
was
White
fun.
Sox, or
Yeah,
no, by
that's
the
fun.
by the Cubs, by the Cubs.
Yeah, it was by the Cubs. That's
Yeah.
fun. That's the stuff where you just go, okay, I
Yeah.
like this.
I'm a fan. I am definitely a fan. But I mean, if I still had to put money, if I was forced to put my house up for grabs, and I like forced by gunpoint or something, like I'm forced to put something up and say who will win the World Series, it's the Dodgers. I still have the Dodgers.
Well, yeah, they're on a 6-game losing streak right
Yeah.
now, but that's also because Ohtani's been in and out of the lineup. He's been
Yep.
missing a lot of games. So the second he's back in the playoffs, they're a completely different team. Completely different team.
Yeah.
And still,
playoff Ohtani, who now has the most home runs in or most, I don't remember what it is. He hit like so many marks this last playoff run and broke so many records. I don't even know. The dude is everybody's like, oh, he's the Babe Ruth of our era. Fuck that, dude. He's the Babe Ruth. He's the Randy Johnson. Like he is the Barry Bonds. Like Mark. He is literally every single good player of our
rolled
generation.
into one.
Dude, rolled into one. He's so good.
Yeah,
he is so good, and he is burning out though. He's got to be careful, but he's so good.
Well, that was the whole thing. Going back to football with Travis Hunter and all this kind of stuff, when like you just have a super talented person where you go, you can be the best at both positions. I feel like coaching and fans and everybody fail to realize like, oh yeah, this guy's playing for every one game. He's playing 2 full games. So that adds up pretty quick because again, in football and baseball, especially when you're on good teams, you're already playing so many more games than other good players because you're doing deep playoff
you can get
runs
away
and
with
stuff like that.
you can get away with like the pitchers in like Little League, you know, the like Little League World Series about to start, you know, they're anywhere from 10 to 13 years old, being an offensive powerhouse at the plate, but also being the main pitcher as well, the ace pitcher. Like that works there. Like you could do that at that age, but not when you get up into the bigger ones. Like that is really tough to do, man. But no, I'm really excited with what my team's been doing. I'm still kind of in shock.
Yeah, what
I'm
a
still
turnaround.
kind of in shock.
What do you think? Why do you think the turnaround has been this dramatic?
I don't know, dude.
Because again, before the trade deadline, they were one of the teams that was like sell everything.
We're gonna sell, and then they buy. I don't know. Getting the new manager in there was a big thing. I really thought they should have made the change at the end of last season, and then it's that thing is like, why don't you do it before you get into the off season to where you can, you know, start bringing kids up from AAA or whatever it may be, or making some moves and making trades. They didn't do shit. And it was so bad. Like there was a lot of graphics out there where it was the 3 other teams, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees, all in the offseason it was like a bar graph, and it was like all the things they've done this summer, and it was all real high, and then the Red Sox were just like a flat line at the bottom. That's literally what happened. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna ride this train because again, they'll probably make the playoffs and lose in the first round, and I don't care, because going from a team that was gonna sell and being shit for the next 5 years, somehow it's just like, oh no, we got this. And it's fun. It's a fun ride because I still enjoy baseball. I don't get to watch it as much because it's hard to access baseball.
Yeah, I never know when the games are, and every game I want to watch, it's always blacked out.
Yeah, it's so dumb. But no, so you got that. Did you see like the whole Jaylen Brown and Tatum thing, where Jaylen Brown was just like, oh, I was underappreciated and this and that bullshit?
Yeah. Yeah. And then did you also see the thing with Kevin Durant where he's like, oh, the Sixers this year, they're actually going to be better on paper than our Golden State Warriors team? And it's like, all right, calm down. Your Golden State Warriors team was coming off like one of the best seasons in NBA history. The Sixers got bounced in the second round by a team after, you know, they beat Boston Celtics team in 7. Like, let's chill. Okay, let's calm down, Kevin
I don't know,
Durant.
man. That's your Sixers team, man. I'm excited for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'll be a failure if they don't get to the minimum Eastern Conference Finals. Like minimum. If they don't get to the
if they get to
finals,
the Eastern Conference Finals and they lose in a game 7 against the Knicks, you did well. You did
yeah,
well because the Knicks are Jalen Brunson is just crushing it right now, this and that, but
it's not title or bust, but it is definitely deep playoff run.
It's title or bust in the next 2 years while you have LeBron on your team before he retires. It is title or bust. So you have 2 years
I'm saying the title
or bust.
The title or bust window is I think a 3-year window.
I think it's 2-year window because you have LeBron and LeBron wants to win and he wants to win. I mean, dude, he took a 2-year, $8 million contract here.
Yeah.
That tells me right now when everybody's like, he should retire 3 years ago, he was just waiting for Bronny. This is it. Like, this is his last hurrah these last 2 years. It is title or bust these next 2 years, and LeBron's going to make that a statement in the locker room.
Yeah. I don't know.
We talked about this. If he wins one more, then you can kind of say, hey, he's got one more, right? He's closer to the Jordan thing. Now he's got all the stats, and he's only within 2 titles. Like, hey. That opens up conversation.
Also, I can't believe you haven't mentioned it, Casino. Did you watch the Hall of Fame game last night?
0%. No, that's a lie. I watched like 4 snaps. I had to take side streets because I wasn't going to make work on time if I tried to go on the freeway. There was something going on. So I took the side streets. That's where I saw the or not yesterday.
The transformer down.
Yeah, but that was 2 days ago. But anyway, I was driving. I had to take side streets, so I pulled it up and I watched a couple snaps, and I was not impressed.
What is it? I'll tell you what. That game ended up coming down to the wire. Ended up being
I only watched
some
of the first quarter, so
scramble touchdown. I watched the highlights of it. Football's back, baby. Football's back.
Football's back.
Also, did you see? Because we're just shooting the shit here.
Yeah, now we are.
Did you see yesterday? And this is from Reddit. Injuries left 49ers without 20 players by the end of Wednesday's practice. I know it's a conspiracy theory. I know everybody's like, there's no causation, correlation, all that kind of stuff. There is something happening with the San Francisco 49ers to where they are the most injured team by like a wide margin every year. I don't care if everybody's like.
So do you think it's at this point? Because, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. It is in the mind of the players. They are playing scared. They are practicing defensively and scared and cautiously, which if you do that and you tense up, you're going to hurt yourself more often, because if you try to avoid getting injured or you try to avoid this, it's like the whole thing being a defensive driver, right? If you're overly defensive, you're going to screw up at some point, right? Because you're going to make a wrong decision. Like, do you think that it's in their minds of like, oh, we are the most injured team,
prone.
Injury prone. So I am going to try to pull up here or do this. And with doing that, it causes awkward hits, awkward collisions, weird movements with your body that it is hurting them.
Honestly, it's that. I think it's that. I think it is that transformer thing where they have, speaking of transformers, where they just have all those electrical things around the facility and everybody's like, that has something to do with the injuries. You look at every time they're practicing and you just see these giant, what is it, like a giant electrical basically grid behind them, like that powers, I don't know, all of San Francisco. There's no way that has no effect. They're the only team in the league that deals with injuries at this substantial rate to basically everybody. Like last year, they limped into the playoffs because everybody.
I don't know if I believe that, because I mean, there's a lot of people that say, people who live in Vegas are crazy because of the radiation from back in the day, and all the nuclear testing and whatnot.
Have you ever been to Fremont? Have you ever been to the Strip? 100%.
I worked Fremont for 3 years. You know this.
So you of all people would know this.
It's so scary.
That was some of
the most scared I've ever been. It actually has the scariest moment of my entire life. Was also on Fremont Street, and I think I've told you that story before.
I don't think you have. What was the scariest moment in your life on Fremont?
Well, I was working. I had to work the door that day for the brewery because we had somebody call out. So I was working the door, and a dude walks up. He did not have an orange tip on the top or on the front of the gun, and it was a homeless dude. And he puts it to my chest and clicks it, and it was a fake gun. I fell out of the back of my chair and everything, and it.
How did you let him get close enough to put it on your chest?
Because he was walking. He wasn't like, when I say homeless, he was not. Didn't dress. He just looked like somebody from like on vacation on Fremont because they're. Yes, I won't sugarcoat it. People who go to Fremont on vacation are trash. It is what it is. And anyway, so he just looked like he was coming in and he was going to be a guest. He was with his buddy and he walks right up to me. And I thought, he was reaching to show me an ID or something because I checked IDs, right? And he put it to my chest and clicked.
Oh,
he's like, it's a fake gun, man. Don't worry about it. It started walking off. Security got him. There was a whole thing, blah, blah, blah. He did it to the security officer on Fremont Street. Didn't work out well for him. But yeah, I was shaken to my core.
That's terrifying. Jesus.
Oh, 100%, 1000%.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was the scariest moment of my entire life.
Did I ever tell you, what is it? I got a gun pulled on me when I was, my first job ever was a pizza delivery driver. The guy,
this one.
which still to this day makes no sense to me because I was delivering it to his address. So I delivered the pizza to his address. It was it must have been like a $20 order because it was like 2 pizzas. Walk up to this guy's door, knock on it, open it. I'm like, this will be 20, whatever. He just pulls up his waistband. He has a gun there and he just takes it out of his waistband. He puts it on top of the 2 pizza boxes and he goes, "Nah, I don't think I'm paying." And so I think I was like 17, 18 at the time. And I just went, okay. And then he just grabbed the pizzas, took it in. I go back to it. I go, yeah, the guy stole the pizza. Here's his address. Here's what he looked like. And we just called the cops. And then apparently the cops came to the station. They said they had him, had to do a police report and all that kind of stuff. But I was just like, I know where he lived. I know exactly what he looked like. He did that all over $20. It's people in Vegas are insane. That's an insane.
I mean, it's a good way to get free pizza.
Well, he didn't get. I mean, he probably got free pizza, ate it, and then got arrested. But yeah. Last thing before we get out of here, Casino. Jahmyr Gibbs signed a 3-year, $67 million deal that is worth $75 million, with $51 million of it guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I'm looking at this Lions team when we do our Lions preview. I think they might win that division this year. I am high on the Lions. So thoughts on that deal?
I've always liked. The Lions have been good for the last 6 to 7 years.
But yeah, we'll talk more about that with the Lions.
And I do like Jahmyr Gibbs. I do like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot.
But I think that's it. Anything else to add before we get out of here? That's
Spain. Okay.
Yeah.
Spay, neuter your dogs. I know.
This
Pull my best
has
Bob
been
Barker.
the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We'll be back on Monday, previewing another 2 NFL.
Is Monday
teams.
live?
Yes, Monday's live.
And then
I leave Wednesday. So Wednesday, Friday, and the next Monday's show won't be live.
Yeah,
but
so that's what we got to work over the weekend.
Yeah. So if there's not an episode one of those days, it's because I'm on a cruise. So there we go. This has been
taking
the
a
Only
cruise
Sport.
In the first week of school. You're a maniac.
Our kids are going to school Monday, Tuesday. We're dropping them off to school Wednesday, and then we're gone. So fun times. Fun times.
Yo, it's just you and your wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
But this is literally the first vacation her and I have taken, just us two, in like 3 years, 4 years. So it's been a hot minute. It's been a while.
Yeah, the wife and mine was our honeymoon 4 years ago. Yeah.
That's honestly only downfall of having kids.
scratch that. It was our friend Keaton's wedding. We did go to our friend Keaton's wedding without the kids. So I guess that was it. Or was that before? No, they got married after us.
I don't know. I don't know.
Remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy that cruise.
Oh, it's going to be great. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We will see you Monday. Adios.